buried. Yeah, no, we're being followed. We're being followed. Speed up. Welcome to Bad Seeds episode 5 or 4. We're on the case of Fred and Rosemary. Yeah, there is a lot of people. So Fred, he was born in Herefordshire. It's weird, like hearing someone say that and then reading it. So he was the second of 6 children. So according to Fred, there was like sexual abuse in his family, where his dad would have sexual relations with Fred's sisters, and apparently Fred's dad kind of teached Fred Fred about bestiality and having sex with animals and how to do it and stuff. And apparently Fred's mother also started sexually abusing him when he was in his early teens. So at 17, Fred was in a motorbike accident, right? And he was in a coma for a week.
Right.
Right, and apparently after he got out of this coma...
How long do you have to be in a coma before they turn you off?
I don't know, I'm guessing months.
4 hours, I think.
He used to go to this youth club, and at this youth club he tried putting his hand up a girl's skirt, and the girl slapped him and he fell down a fire escape where he hit his head yet again.
Pretty good slap then.
Oh, sir.
Judo
slap? Basically, you get hit on the head twice.
And you become a murderer.
You go from a case to a nutcase.
Did he say how old he was when?
Yes, he was 19 when that happened.
19.
Yeah, around that time, right, as well, he got... a girl went to the police about, like, touching her inappropriately.
Right.
And he got away with that by... Apparently his something about him being epileptic. Like it was the only case up to that point where someone had been let off a charge for being epileptic, like a molestation charge.
What, did you say he had an epileptic fit and accidentally touched her?
Well, yeah, I'm guessing so. When he did this whole molesting thing, his family kind of kicked him out and like turned his back on him.
Whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Hang on a minute. He molests someone and his family are like, "Ooh, that's it, I've had enough of your shit." When they're going around fucking pigs on each other.
When Fred was 21, he ended up getting into a relationship with someone called Catherine Rena Costello, who was a prostitute from Scotland.
Is this the Pakistani?
No, she's not Pakistani, she's white.
But Costello's a Scottish name.
She had an affair with a Pakistani bus driver, and she was pregnant.
Oh, that was it. She was
pregnant with the baby when her and Fred got together.
Yeah.
We moved to Scotland, and it was a pretty abusive relationship. He ended up getting her pregnant, and then they had a kid of their own, so they had a kid together. So he would like treat the kid that wasn't his kid like shit, basically. And at this point, he was working as an ice cream man, which I think's just bizarre. They moved. Where was it?
It was in Gloucestershire.
Right, yeah. So they lived in a caravan in Gloucestershire together, and then she couldn't stand the abuse anymore because he was abusing her and her child. So she left to go to Scotland. She moved back to Scotland and left Fred on his own in a caravan park.
With the 2 kids?
With the 2 kids.
So you can tell where that story's going.
Let's get on to Rosemary, right? Rosemary.
She was 15, I think, at the time.
She was.
And he was 28. And then they met at this bus stop. And he tried like loads of advances on her, like tried to, woo her kind of thing, and she just wasn't interested in any way, shape or form. He even resorted to stealing things to give her as
yes.
gifts. And like he told her lies and all kinds of shit about
He
how
said
he
that
had
he-
a lot of money and stuff.
He owned like lots of land in Scotland.
Yeah.
And
But then
other
the thing that
bullshit.
finally like attracted her to him was the rumours that he was molesting his children.
Rose's dad didn't like the fact that she was going out with this guy who had 2 kids to 2 different women,
Not the fact that he was 15 years older.
and he was living in a caravan. Them 2 get together, and she ends up getting pregnant with his child. And around
He's
this,
a potent man, isn't
he is. Maybe it's.
he? One and done, I heard.
I'll knock you on the head a few times, Lordy. Maybe you'll start shooting straight, if you know what I'm saying.
Call me a homosexual.
Yeah.
It's now 10 to 11.
Are you fucked?
A little bit, yeah. After like the caravan and once they'd settled down and shit, and she was pregnant, they moved to the first house in Gloucestershire.
There's a lot of odd folks around here.
That's it.
That house is where she became a prostitute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he
yeah.
encouraged her because he was in prison at the time,
And they were struggling for money.
And they were struggling for money,
yeah.
so he encouraged her to sell herself for money to pay for the bills and all that kind of shit.
Pretty much,
But she wasn't bothered about that. I think at times that he also encouraged her to do it for pleasure, not for money.
Well, yeah, he liked watching her with fuck other men, and
Yeah.
he had like peepholes in the house where he could like cook.
Like-
yeah.
So this is where the abuse of the kids went on.
Do you reckon back then it was one house?
Yeah, probably.
Because it looks like it's now flats.
Oh yeah, it will have been, yeah, one house I reckon. Should we get the fuck out of here? 'Cause this
Yeah,
is
let's
really
fucking
dodgy
go.
around
Let's go
here.
back to the studio.
So what happened to his stepdaughter?
Well, apparently Rose killed her in the summer of '71. Apparently, if I'd cut the fingers off and the toes, I'm guessing that's for. Did they have?
It would have been identification probably.
Yeah.
Fingerprints and shit.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Tell you what, I don't fucking like it around here.
No, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Right, so this one that we're going to now is the murder house.
The House of Horrors. I think it is actually nicknamed the House of Horrors.
Well, we'll do, won't it? Yeah, that house, I think she was in there around the time that, got convicted and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was being a prostitute.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, the house was bought afterwards by someone and used as a brothel.
Fucking hell.
So you could go and have sex with a prostitute in the fucking house where Fred and Rose West lived. If you're into that sort of shit.
Madness. On the year after 1972, they moved house into the House of Horrors. Banksy.
So this is it. Or was there?
Right there.
Yeah, then I read that he had like a red light outside it and all that kind of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Because that was the house that he used to have loads of peepholes in. He'd set it up. In the other one, I think he hid in a cupboard or something.
yeah.
With a peephole. He'd set up peepholes in the room, the special room.
Oh, the special room.
Yeah, so when people used to come and fuck
His wife.
his
Well-
wife,
It's
used
so
to be like-
strange.
fruit people. His daughter, I think you
Oh
told
yeah,
me.
they took his daughter into they used to take his daughter into this little room that they built in the basement, and they used to like do horrible shit to her.
Well,
But they said to her that it would make her into a better wife when she grows up. which is weird. But you see, I didn't know about all the videotapes and stuff.
Yeah, he filmed a lot of it.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know. But and the thing about the daughter, she used to sit on her face?
Yeah, well,
he
did the business. Yeah.
Freeway.
It's like her mum sat on her face.
Oh, right.
It's like a shitload of cars down there, like not moving, which is really weird. Probably dark tourists.
I don't like this shit. Can we go outside?
There's someone at that. We've parked. I think it's because we parked in front of their house.
Move it forward then.
Move it forward?
Yeah.
Why? Okay, I'll move it forward.
We're gonna get murdered. Can you see him on camera?
No, they're not like it's frosted glass.
Well, so someone's just like stood there.
Well, no, not now. They've gone. But
I'm getting fucking freaked out.
They were just stood at the door. Why are we whispering? They can't hear us.
Oh, you never know, these fucking ghosts.
Ghosts?
We went to the house where it all happened. Obviously not there anymore.
What is there now?
Nothing. It's literally just like
Is it
a through path.
On a housing
So
estate?
no, it's like a terrace house on like a street, and there's just like a bit where there's no house.
Why do we find it more?
It's down there.
Why do we find it more strange just walking up and down streets
I don't know.
than like when we're normally in abandoned buildings?
I'm officially creeped out, but not because of what's going on, just because I think I'm going to get killed. Right, so it was right here.
This is exactly where the fucking House of Horrors was.
No, we're literally standing over where the bodies were buried.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking dodgy around here.
So that there is where the house stood. And this was probably the garden, Norton.
Yeah.
This had been the garden, so literally this is where they were digging them all up. And now it's nothing, now it's just a path. You don't think we can?
No.
Are you fucking round? Shit, we're gonna have to go back.
Yeah,
Let's go. Quick. You always know you're in a good area when there's a half a bed.
Yeah, when cameras off, help me get this in back of the van.
Rose gave birth to 7 children, or they had 7 children. 3 of them were Fred's, and 3 of them could have possibly been her own dad's. Because in this time,
What?
he'd still been,
Molesting her?
yeah. How
What? And
fucked up.
Fred was just like, well, that's
Well,
not
Fred's a
surprising.
cook,
As long as
innit?
he's paying, I don't mind.
Well, I don't think she'd make a dad pay.
Well, it's not, Lord, this isn't the sort of shit you get fucking friends and family discount on.
Yeah, but she used to do it for free sometimes, just for pleasure.
Maybe he had a loyalty card.
Oh, right.
And like a House of Horrors loyalty card.
And apparently she had 3 kids with her clients that were mixed race.
Oh.
But they would. It says here that
God, imagine being born into that family.
it says here that they were fathered by the clients.
Be fun, at least.
So they must have took him.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. And I know Fred had kids as well to other people. When he was like younger, he got a few people pregnant.
So in this house, basically, it was basically like a brothel or a torture
pretty much.
place where they just filmed everything.
God, it sounds like a right House of Horrors as that.
Fuck no, we're being followed. We're being followed. Speed up, speed up. Yeah, go on, go. Yeah. Lock the door.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old and I'm fucking
Scared.
very nice bunch of characters around here.
Let's get the fuck out of here now. There's a dog there and shit. Take his camera.
Really people sound like some ghosts.
Can't make out what auction and all those fucking hangers.
They're like not moving. I'm just gonna reverse all the way back.
in October 72, Fred and Rose hired a young woman named
Patricia.
Caroline Owens to work for them as like a nanny to look after the kids, like cleaning shit like that. And they kept on like coming onto her and stuff. Fred tried coming onto her and she was like, And then even she tried coming onto her and she was like, no. After saying no to Fred and Rose, they kept her captive for a night, and Fred threatened her, saying that he was gonna get like his friends to go through her and stuff. So then she like complied and they did the business. Anyway, the next day she went to the police, and yeah, that's kind of where they got more on the police's radar. Does that make sense? Makes sense.
Right, yeah.
They started being
'cause of that-
investigated.
Yeah.
Because of that woman.
She went to the police and reported it. This is what I think's so fucked up, right? She went to the police and reported it, told them what had happened and stuff. Fred convinced the police that it was consensual, and he only got fined 50 quid.
50 quid for what?
This is what I don't understand. Like, what did they charge him 50 quid
Yeah.
for? Right, so he had sex with a girl, right, who was... And he persuaded them that it was consensual. So there
So
should be
why
no...
There should be no charge
the-
whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
so...
what was the
wasting-
50 quid?
Oh, 50 quid for an indecent assault. The house was like a B&B. They would have like people stay and stuff like that. I'm guessing it wasn't like a proper B&B. It was more like
A brothel that you could stay the night.
it was just like a house that people stayed at.
Or a crack den.
Yeah. In the next 6 years after that, they killed 8 young women, all in that house.
What? Where
That,
are these women from?
that either were staying...
Oh, like customers.
No, the ones that they either groomed or like people that they knew. Like it was a bunch of like all different people. It wasn't just like random people. Well, it was random people, but it was like people they knew, all kinds of stuff. I know that there was a few that they found videotapes of,
Yeah.
and there was videotapes of him like strangling them and shit. So they don't know who they are. They were never named, but there was like they don't know because some of the bodies were like they didn't know who some of the bodies were
Yeah.
that they found at the house.
It says they were caught in 1992 after Fred videotaped himself raping one of his daughters. Then she told her friends, and one of them reported it to the police. That's how they were caught.
Well, I know they interviewed the kids, didn't they? And one of the kids said that if to the police that if he threatened them by saying if they ever tell anyone, he's going to bury him under the patio like the rest.
What, like Jimmy Corkill?
Yeah, he's going to bury him under the patio like the rest. So then that gave the police incentive to get a warrant to search the house,
Yeah.
and they searched the house, and the rest was history.
Yeah. She was convicted in 1995, November 1995, of 10 murders and sentenced to life in prison. And then in 1996, that's when the house was demolished.
Oh shit! So it was
It was demolished literally the year after she was found guilty.
Well, they probably should have done. 'Cause
And
they've dug it all up,
three
haven't
years after they were found out. No, 4 years after they were found out. I didn't like that.
Well, you know you're in a good place when you've got a car that's got a different colour bumper on
One
it.
that's got a different colour
Sorry, a different colour bumper and a different colour boot on it. This has been Bad Seeds episode 4. Thank you for watching.
We're gonna go Chippy.
they? Yeah, we are.
I was paying.
Nuggets, chips, and gravy. I'm not.
Have you heard this? He gets
Yeah,
nuggets
oh
from
no.
Chippy.